empowered. Be strong. Take charge. Speak life. Live life abundantly. Get with it now. You are now entering the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is, where we debate, debunk, educate, empower, impart, and raise awareness on all things related to health, healing, and holistic well-being, body, mind, and spirit. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the chat room. Health Chat with Coach G, that is. Look, I'm excited to be back here. Took a break on last week, but thank God for another opportunity to be back in the chat room. Thank God for another week, and it is almost the end of the week here. But look, I am grateful to be here, grateful to be alive, grateful to have my health and my strength, and so grateful to you, our listeners, for joining us from wherever you are, live streaming from around the world. And so, look, I just want to start off by saying, be encouraged, okay? There is so much going on in the world. So much going on even in our personal lives. But, I heard someone say earlier, and it really encouraged me, fear not, be not dismayed. Yes, do not be intimidated, for the God we serve is with us always. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and pray and get it popping, because this week's episode here in the chat room, I have a very special guest who's going to share her story on this week's topic. And look. If you know of someone who is suffering with infertility, look, you need to go ahead and let them know now that Health Chat with Coach Jean is live streaming on Spreaker at Spreaker.com, because this is a really, really important topic. And one that is not really talked about that often. But tonight, my guest is here to help break the silence on infertility in African American women. And so with that said, let's go ahead and pray and get it popping. Most gracious Father, in your precious Son's name, we thank you for another opportunity to come before your people, dear God, on this platform. We thank you for yet another week and another day of life, health, and strength. I ask and pray that you would forgive us of our sin and cleanse us from all sin and all unrighteousness, that you create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us. And Lord, I pray that something shared on this week's episode will encourage and edify every listener, that something said on this episode, dear God, will provide health, healing, and wholeness, body, mind, soul, and spirit to these your people. And I ask and pray this in your precious Son's name. Amen. Amen and amen. And so look, a quick announcement. We had the Balanced Woman Health Summit now about maybe 3 weeks ago. It was January 29th. And I am pleased to announce that if you missed the summit, it is now available to you. Over 10 hours. Did you hear me? Over 10 hours of health awareness, education, and information right there at your fingertips. And for more information, go to thebalancedwoman.life. That is www.thebalancedwoman.life. And you can go ahead and find out how you can secure your copy of the summit, over 10 and a half hours of health awareness, education, and information. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and introduce my guest for this week. She is the beautiful, and I mean gorgeous, Penelope McCown. She is a wife, a mother, and she is the owner of Coco Baby Love LLC here in the United States, in Georgia, in the state of Georgia. She is a nurse practitioner by trade, but was inspired by her daughter to build something greater through her struggles, her own personal struggles with infertility. And so after multiple tests and diagnoses and these different things, God blessed her with her child. And her daughter was the inspiration for her business and her brand, Cocoa Baby Love, which is a high-end brand of infant and toddler products and apparel dedicated to the celebration of African-American women and children. And so I'm going to stop right there because I want her to go ahead and tell you more about herself. And so without further ado, Penelope, beautiful one, are you here in the virtual building?
Yes, ma'am, I am. And what an introduction. Thank you.
Look, thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule to take a few moments to join me here in the chat room on this evening. And so, look, I want to get right into it, if that's okay with you. And I want to start out by you sharing with our listeners a little bit more about yourself and your personal testimony.
Well, my intro was awesome and amazing. So it was a great way to just kind of lead into things. So just as you said, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm inspired by my child because of my journey. So my journey started when me and my husband got married back in 2013. And I'm a planner, so I had my whole life planned out. And at the time, I was finishing up nurse practitioner school. So when my husband and I got married, we planned to enjoy our first year of marriage, finish nurse practitioner school, and then we would have our child. So it was very planned out, very organized, but it didn't happen that way at all. It wasn't even a matter of, okay, we're going to try to have a child. It was, we're going to have a child. So we were so, disappointed when month after month after month, nothing at all happened. So, I went to the doctor and got checked out and was put on fertility pills and the doctor said, okay, well, let's give this a few months, and tried it, and a few months went by, more months went by, nothing happened, went back to the doctor, and surprisingly, I was referred fairly early on, I would say, to see an infertility specialist. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't need to do it. Nope, not me. I'm not going to do that. And that right there showed me, looking back, I had my own bias, against infertility myself. So after, trying everything, trying all the natural supplements, trying all sorts of things that, I would think are bizarre looking back at it, nothing helped. And it wasn't until, I had an African-American female doctor, because my doctor was out that day, she herself told me that it doesn't take this much to get pregnant. And when she was saying this much, it was because of everything that I had told her that I have tried. And she just, laid it out there. And it wasn't until I heard someone who looked like me, who I could relate to, that really resonated with me. And I finally at that time decided to see a fertility doctor because I didn't think I had to. I didn't think African-American people did that. And it wasn't something that, was in me to do or thought that I needed to do. So I ended up seeing a fertility specialist, and I ended up being diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which means that the doctors don't know what's wrong with you. So we had so many tests. Everything was functioning properly with myself, supposedly, and everything was functioning properly with my husband, yet there was nothing happening. So that's what my diagnosis was. And to me, that was the most frustrating, because when they said that everything is okay, everything was not okay. So we ended up deciding to do in vitro fertilization based upon my history and, going over all of my options. So it was great. I thought that was going to be my answer. Okay, we're going to do IVF. Everything is going to work. Everything is going to be great. But we ended up doing the first cycle, and it completely failed. So the thing about, fertility treatments, when they fail, it's just devastating, because you are not giving an answer. It just doesn't work. And you're out of money. You're out of everything. Out of time, just devastated, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So we decided to try again. And I was able to conceive, but unfortunately I had a miscarriage, a second trimester miscarriage. And then after that, we just needed time to just heal, because going through fertility issues or infertility treatments, it is so not only financially draining, it's mentally just draining. And so we just needed time to heal from that. And so we let a couple of years pass, and then we finally decided to try one more time, and then we were able to conceive our daughter, she will be 3 years old next week. So we're super blessed and happy. But going through this process, I realized so many things. Number one, there wasn't anybody like me. I knew no one else going through this. All of my friends got pregnant easily. All of my friends were having children. I was the only one who was struggling. Number two, I realized that there wasn't much support for me because I was going through this alone. There was no support for me as far as who to look to for encouragement or even knowledge on social media, things like that. So I noticed that as well. Number three, I couldn't tell many people what I was going through, because I would just be told, it's okay. God is going to bless you. Don't worry about it. You're stressing over it. This, and this. So each time I revealed to someone, I felt like I was just being condemned, which made me feel even worse, which made me feel even guilty, which made me question my faith. And I began to question my self-worth because my faith was so strong. I was questioning my purpose of being here on this earth. If God put women here to procreate, and I was not able to, then what is my true purpose? So I began to just question my whole being. And I realized that, if I had more of a support system and more people to relate to, I wouldn't feel this way. I would have someone to reach out to someone to talk to, and know that it's okay, because I, was suffering in silence, and that's something I shouldn't have had to do. Women shouldn't have to do. So through my experience, I was inspired to start my brand, Cocoa Baby Love, which is two-sided. Number one is as a platform to bring knowledge and awareness to infertility. The other side of it is the product line to celebrate motherhood, celebrate being a mom. Especially after going through infertility, it's about, being happy you're finally here, we're victorious. It's about celebrating our children because we love them, we work so hard for them. So it's about celebration, the product line, and then the platform is about encouragement. All of this was from my journey. So that's it in a nutshell.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, you are fine, girl. I know you I was just all wrapped up in your testimony. So let me ask you this. And look, first of all, no, you're fine. First of all, I love that name, Cocoa Baby Love. When I first heard it, during the summit, and I saw your bio, I was like, oh, my God, I love that. And then love the
where
way
it came from.
You presented.
My daughter is from her. Thank you. Yeah, she's my baby love.
Oh, that's
my nickname. She's my baby love. And everything is from her. For example, when you struggle with infertility and you finally become a mom, you are a different type of mom. And that's what I really try to explain to people. Number one, a lot of times you're older, okay? So you've had more time to want a child. And number two, you've gone through so much to get a child that when you finally have a child, you're like, oh my God. Everybody wants the best for their child. But I think once you struggle so hard, you really kind of go, I don't want to say overboard, you think a little bit differently. So I was really concerned about her skin and using organic products. So I was very concerned about, making sure none of the plates and things that I used had any type of any type of harmful ingredients in it. So I carry products like that because that's the kind of mom that I am. So that, again, my motherhood, the type of mother I am, has inspired the product too as well.
Well, I love the fact that you're more on the organic, all natural product side. Because, I'm all about the health and well-being, and environmental health is health as well as our physical health. But let me ask you this.
Yes.
You are a nurse practitioner, and, those of us in healthcare, we are used to being the caregivers, right? Taking care of other people. So out of curiosity, how was that for you as a nurse practitioner, as a healthcare provider, to have to walk through that, knowing what you know on the medical professional side?
That's a great question, because surprisingly, I thought it would be easier for me. Number one, a lot of the things, like a lot of the hormones, I already, have knowledge about, in this whole process is very hormonally based, so I'm very well versed on the reproductive system. So I thought it would be easier for me, but it was not easier for me. You know how sometimes if you know too much, sometimes that's, bad. That's kind of how I felt. Ignorance is bliss. So I felt like I knew too much. that was
girl. Yes. I know the feeling.
That's the first thing. So that was the first thing. That made it a lot more challenging for me. And, oddly, and I often speak about this, it's a shame, but it's the truth. I felt as though having, my medical knowledge and maybe, just a little bit more education, I thought that, not to say I would be treated any better, that's not what I mean. I thought my experience would be better, but my experience would be different, but I still felt like any other African-American woman who was going through infertility. I still felt like people were looking at me. I still felt awkward being in the waiting room because I was generally the only black person there. For some reason, I still felt like, even though I knew I belonged there, I knew I could afford to be there, I still felt out of place. And so I can relate to all other African-American women who go through that. And so I thought being a healthcare provider, I wouldn't experience that, but I still experienced that. So it was interesting. But again, it also helped me that I knew kind of what to experience. I knew what hormones make you feel like, so it was good and bad, and it was enlightening in that I had the same experience that other women, I'm sure they experienced. I didn't think I would, so that was really interesting.
Right. Right. No, I agree with you 100% because in 2018 and 2019, when I was going through a healthcare crisis, to know, being a registered nurse, that I was like, it could be good and bad because you know too much, right? But then the flip side for me is that because I was a registered nurse, and when my medical team found out I was a registered nurse because I got care outside of the military treatment facility, I was selective duty at the time, and I got care out here in the civilian sector. When they found out I was a registered nurse, then they just assumed that I knew everything about what that thing. And I was like, no, I am not a oncology nurse. I am a nurse educator, and I've done OB and these, areas of nursing, but I don't know this. I don't know everything. Don't assume just because I am a healthcare professional that I know everything about what's going on. So, it's either one end of the totem pole, so to speak, or the opposite end of the totem pole. It could be a blessing, and it could be not so good at the same time. And when they think that you're supposed to know it because you're a medical professional, then they feel like they don't have to explain stuff to you, forgetting that you are the patient at the time.
Exactly. That is so true. And, a lot of times I would be like, I'm not a nurse practitioner, I'm a patient, and I think sometimes it's important for us to say that because, like you said, they won't explain as much because they will automatically assume, but you have to stress, like, this is not my area, this is not my specialty. Everybody has their own specialty. I don't know, I know some, but not a lot, you know what I mean? So I totally understand exactly what you're saying. And when I get care, I don't even many times I don't tell people. I think they find out anyway, just maybe the questions I ask, the things I say.
That's it.
But I try not to, because I don't want to seem like I'm that person. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm
right.
this and this and that. So I don't say anything. They tend to find out anyway.
Right, but you're right, Penelope, because let me tell you, I don't tell people that I'm a nurse, but when I go for care, I always look. It's because I'm watching. I think because we have those assessment skills, so we watch what's being done, watching what's going on. We're listening, and we know the language and the jargon. And you know what's in you going to come out of you. And something you say, I don't. It can be the most minute little thing. They stop and pause for a minute. You don't need to do it. It's like,
Yep, exactly. It's going to come out. Something you ask or something you say is going, it's second nature to us. It's going to come out, Can't help it.
Exactly. You can't help it. You cannot help it. But I thought I'd ask that question because, it's one thing to be, the giver of care, to care for our patients, right? But then when you become the patient and you're seeking health care, it's a whole different ball game.
It really is. It really is.
Let me ask you a question. Did you experiencing infertility and you and your husband walking through that, did it change your perspective about health care in general? Any changes in your perspective regarding health care?
Well, the way it has made me think differently is access. There's always been issues with access to health care, always. But in regards to access to infertility treatments, and that's a big thing, because, again, we were so blessed. My mother-in-law, she really wanted her grandchild, so she actually gifted us enough money for our first and into the second round. But after that, it was all out of pocket. But it's like, what if, you couldn't afford this and you want fertility treatment? So it began to feel like it was kind of unfair. You know what I mean? So it made me think about issues to access to fertility treatments, because it is a true health diagnosis. So if you can get access to care, if you're able to for other things, then why not make this a little bit more easily accessible? And I understand it's still considered to be a luxury, things of that nature, but it really shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Right. So that's kind of how it opened my eyes to say, this, other people everybody can't get this. And it's kind of, it's kind of disturbing. So that's kind of how I looked at it.
Right. Because a lot of women, African-American women, and see, this totally, brings up a whole nother issue. When we talk about the healthcare disparities, right? The lack of access and racial disparities and which COVID brought it to the forefront, but we've known it's been existing for some time. It ain't nothing new to us, in African American community. But many cannot afford that, right? So then it becomes, like you said, an access issue, right? So let me ask you this. What would you say, and I'm sure you probably know this for the actual statistics, what is the rate of infertility in our community?
Well, it's okay. First of all, let's talk infertility in general is 1 in 8 couples, which is a high amount. Okay. But the thing in our community, so we are twice as likely to suffer from infertility compared to white women, but less likely to seek treatment. And that makes perfect sense, right? So we have health issues like endometriosis. We have health issues like fibroids, things that cause infertility. We tend to get tubal ligations at an earlier age, things of that nature. So, and we tend to be more obese. So we have these risk factors that are against us for infertility, but we're less likely to seek treatment, again, for the reasons we talked about, access and, in your own bias, other people's bias. So, and then the thing about it is the true number is unknown, like the true rate is unknown because we don't report it, because we're still not talking about it. So while studies show that the rate is higher, the exact rate is not known because we're still not talking about it. You know what I mean? So we still have a lot of work to do in regards to bringing awareness.
But why do you think it is that we don't talk about it more often? You think it has to do with shame, guilt? I mean, why do you think that's so?
It has to do with shame, guilt, our culture. Number one, it's very, very culturally. Number one, Black women are strong. You know, you don't talk about your issues. Whatever it is, you'll be okay. You'll work through it. Number one, that's the first thing. Number two is a misconception that, we are easily able to conceive. We have a lot of children. That's another misconception. Our faith, African American people tend to be really strong in our faith. And so when you think about it, it's you're balancing your faith that God is going to bless you with do I want to express that I'm worried that God's not going to bless me? So I struggle with that a lot too. Like it's like you're in like turmoil almost that between your faith and and worrying about infertility. So I think it's all those factors. But two, we're so secret. Not two, probably like number 5. I would say we're so secretive even among our family and our friends about this issue. We're very, very secretive, very, very private culture. And, this isn't discussed even among family members, close friends, and even some of my close family members who, know that I am doing this. They're happy and proud of me, but I can still tell it's more like, okay, you don't have to tell everybody. You know what I mean? So it's still something that we're all kind of suffering with. So it's a multifaceted issue.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. And I think, too, a lot of it generational, because I know when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, like you said, secretive. It's just certain things you just did not talk about.
Right.
And you definitely, in that time, did not talk about anything that had to do with sex, sexuality, reproduction. That was, or you just did not talk about that, right? And then that whole thing, it goes on in this house, stays in this house, and I'll be telling my business and all of that. So all of that plays a role. It plays a role. It really does. Yeah, it really, really does. I want to get back to Cocoa Baby for a minute. I think that is just the cutest thing, and your daughter is just so precious looking. I love your brand. I love your promos.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Talk a little bit about what type of products and apparel that is a part of Cocoa Baby Love. Baby Love. What's Baby Love? I know it was a song by the Supremes. But I also want to think that it was a cologne, a perfume back in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yes, it was. I think it was called, was it Baby Love or Baby Soft? Was it Baby Love?
It was Baby Love. I think it was Baby Love, because I used to wear it. I was that girl.
Really?
That was one of my first perfumes. I was about 16. You couldn't tell me nothing. It was something Baby
Love.
My God. Baby Love. Yeah.
Oh, but yes, so first of all, oh my God, I'm so super excited. Actually, in 2 days, my products actually launch. My website goes live. I'm so happy and excited. It's been such a long time coming. But so what I've done, again, this is about celebrating motherhood and our children. So what I've done for the moms, I have designed custom diaper bags, custom, luxurious, beautiful, functional, chic, trendy diaper bags. They're convertible bags that you can wear as a tote. You can wear them on your back. You can wear them across your shoulder. And they're nice enough to wear to work or to wear to a meeting. It doesn't have to be, it's not the traditional diaper bag that you get from the store. You just throw your stuff in and go. You can use it like that. However, it's more of a glamorous feel. Again, we're celebrating being moms. We want to feel good. We want to look good. So the first bag I've come out with is called the Victory. It's called the Victory Convertible Bag. Again, we're victorious in being a mom. So everything about the brand, everything has a particular meaning about it. So I'm super, super excited about those. And that's for the mom. So it's going to be a whole line of diaper bags, but I'm starting with the convertible bag. And for the infants and toddlers, so again, everything is going to be eco-friendly. And again, I am still very conscious about what she wears, what she eats on. So I have custom, I'll call it silicone feeding wear. Basically, it's feeding wear. It's bibs. It's lovely silicone bibs and plates and feeding wear. But it's not just bibs and plates. They all have logos on them that are celebrating our children. So they say so brilliant, so amazing, so loved. It's about empowering our children. So that's a part of the feeding wear. And then I have onesies, and they're not just any onesies. Again, this brand is to celebrate our children and also represent our children. So I have many brand ambassadors. They're I don't want to say the names just yet, but they all have different names that, again, empower our children, encourage our children, because even though they're babies and toddlers, you still have that. Everyone knows you still want to speak life into them and encourage them. So I have starting with onesies. So it's going to be a full-fledged children's line and mom's line, but starting with the custom diaper bags, custom design diaper bags, the feeding wear, and the onesies. So I'm so excited for everybody to see what I've spent my blood, sweat, and tears, and many tears on. So that's in 2 days.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So
oh, my
dope.
God, so
that
big.
That is so dope. Oh, my gosh. So now I know where to go shop at for when I'm giving out baby gifts, which is one of the things that I love to do, is to give out baby gifts. And you don't know this, but my audience knows this, but I am a national certified in inpatient obstetrics. I love maternal newborn nursing. Yeah, I did maternal newborn nursing for about 15 years out of my, this year makes 35 years I've been a nurse.
Oh, my
15 years of it I spent in and out of maternal newborn nursing.
Gosh.
Love
That's
babies.
crazy.
Love them.
Me too. I did this. So before I became a nurse practitioner, I did labor and delivery almost 10 years. So I didn't do the natural progression to be a midwife because I didn't want the midwife schedule. But I love labor and delivery. I love bringing life into the world. And hey, look, and at that time, I wanted a baby, right? I wanted to experience birth. So, and that made it even worse for me. So all those years I had helped women to deliver their babies and I couldn't do it. It just really just tore me apart. Oddly, like, as crazy as it sounded, I wanted to experience a contraction. You know, it sounds weird, but I wanted to experience childbirth, you know, but hey, you know, God had another plan. I mean, I didn't birth her vaginally, but still, you know what I mean? I wanted to experience that. Right. But after, I think being a labor and delivery nurse really even pushed me further into wanting to have a child. But, you know, God has had his own plan, and we were blessed in a different way. So that's life.
Right. And now you have her. And she's going to be 3?
Yes, she's going to be 3. Yes, she's going to be 3. And these are just, oh, my God, the fun times and the stuff that she says to come out of her mouth. I'm like, oh, my God, it's just such a blessing. And I'm so proud because she already knows Coco Baby Love. So she'll see something, that's Coco Baby Love? And then she'll say, am I Coco Baby Love? I'm like, yes. You are Coco Baby Love. So it's so important for her to know. And I tell her, this is all for you. This is all for you because of you. I really want her to know that she, you know, has an involvement in it and that it's because of her. So I think that's so important for her to know, even at 2 years old now, for her to realize that. How special she is.
That is just so, yes, that is so wonderful. I'm just very happy for you.
Thank
happy
you so
I got the opportunity to connect with you because you were one of the on the Balanced Women Health Summit. I am just so happy. Oh, my goodness, that we got the opportunity to connect. And so before we close out this week's episode, what are 1 or 2 things that you would like to leave with our audience, with the women out there who are experiencing infertility, their partners, you know, because, they're walking through that journey right along with them. You know what I'm saying? So what are one or two things that you would like to leave with our listeners?
Well, the first thing, if you are concerned at all about your fertility or have any issues or concerns, seek treatment. Go to the doctor. Talk to them. See what your options are. Just don't worry and stress at home and not do anything about it and just suffer in silence. Go talk to your provider and see what your options are, because there's help for you, and it's better to do it early on while time is on your side than to wait. Number two, I would say find a community. Seek out people like you to just, get knowledge from, to get encouragement from, to share with. I'm going to leave one more, 3. You asked for 2. This is so important. I gotta say this too. For you and your partners have to just communicate with each other, and if needed, get counseling, about this issue together, because it can really tear your relationship down. So it's very important to have support during this journey, and it's very important to have that solid support from your partner. So that is something to not forget about, but to make of high importance when you're going through infertility treatments as well.
I agree, because, again, it could be mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually draining. Like, it can just affect you in every dimension, domain of wellness across the board, right? And that is key, because I think a lot of times, and this is, whether it be infertility or some other health situation, that we forget about our partners. We usually feel like, they're not going to understand, or why should I include them? They're not the ones going through it. It's not their body, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But no, that's not the right attitude to have. So we've got to include the partner and have to have these discussions. There has to be the communication, and really both should go to counseling, if that is needed. So I totally agree 100%. And so as a nurse practitioner now, what are you? Are you a family nurse practitioner? Or are you?
I am. I am a family nurse practitioner. Okay. Yeah. So interestingly, I'm a family nurse practitioner, and I work in a subspecialty of cardiology. That's my main job. And then I also do medical aesthetics. So it's a wonderful balance. So I deal with patients who have strokes and heart attacks, cancers, very serious issues. But then on the flip side, I also help people feel beautiful. I do Botox and fillers and all that good stuff. So I think it's the perfect balance.
Oh, wow.
And in healthcare. I help you stay alive and feel good and be pretty.
And feel good and look good. Right?
Yes.
And look good. Yes.
All those. Stay alive, look good, and feel good. Yes.
Well, look, after 35 years in nursing, God He works in mysterious ways, because I have my bachelor's in nursing, my master's is really in healthcare management, and here I am 16 years later after graduating from grad school with a healthcare management degree. I am in NP program. And I'm like, Lord, how did I get here? How
that
did
is
I?
so
I was not supposed to go back to school. I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
I ain't going back to school.
That is so, you can never say never. Never say never.
You got that right. Especially when you say, God, your will be done, and you surrender to Him. You undo His way, His will. So pray for us, sister, because I'm in Pastor right now.
Will.
And it is, woo! God.
It's not, listen, it is not. It's not easy. It's funny because lately, oh my gosh, just with the grind time from the brand, I've been saying this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in life. And I'm like, well, no, nursing school and NP school is pretty hard. No, I will have to say that. So I get it. It's really hard. So you just hang on in there. It's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to be worth it in the end. So you just hang in there and just study. That's it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now, trying to study and continue to run the business and ministry and media. And, Yes, I need all the prayers. So to our listeners, if you're here, are you hearing me? I need your prayers too. Yes, indeed. So Penelope, before we end this week's episode, please go ahead and share with our global audience your website and how they can reach out and connect to you.
Yes. Well, you can reach me currently on Facebook and Instagram at Coco Baby Love. And my website is actually going to be live on Saturday. So I don't want to announce it yet because I don't want people going there. But, I will go ahead and announce it. Saturday, it will be live. It will be CocoBabyLove.com. We will be going live on Saturday, and I will have a live virtual launch. And that's going to be streaming on Instagram and Facebook at 6 p.m. this Saturday the 25th. So everybody tune in, or if you even don't tune in, just watch later, and then join the platform. Come on, if you have questions about infertility or just want to just share, please come to my page, because I have a series called Pieces of Penelope, where I bring different guests on the show to talk about different areas of infertility and to bring awareness. So look at my page, follow me, and then as of Saturday, go to www.cocobabylove.com.
I love it, and I'm going to try to, I remember, matter of fact, I'm making a note now so that I can tune into your live on Facebook.
Yes,
now, your page
please,
is to be
please.
liked only, right? Like I can't, this is your business page, so I have to like your page.
Oh, yes,
Correct?
like my page, yes. Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to connect with me on the personal side on Facebook.
Okay, yes, absolutely. Yes, I would love to. Yes, for sure.
I got to stay in touch with you because I got a lot coming up down the pipe, and I want to stay in touch with you. And so, yeah.
I would love to be involved any way I can help.
And likewise, okay, that goes both ways. And so I'm looking forward to checking out your website, CocoBabyLove.com, launching this Saturday.
Yes. Oh, God, I can't believe it.
And that is Saturday, February
the 26th. 25th. At 6 p.m.
What's today's? It's Saturday, right?
23rd. So, yeah, it's the 23rd, so it's Saturday the 25th.
Yeah, okay. What did I say?
Mm-hmm.
Oops, my bad. Because today's the 24th. Tomorrow's the 26th.
Today?
Saturday's the 26th. Today's the 24th. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord, 26. I got my own date wrong. It's the 26th. Sorry, Saturday the 26th.
Yeah, Saturday.
My brain is gone. I'm telling you, my brain is totally gone right now. But I had to take this time to talk to you. I'm like, nope. Okay, what's going on this week? I'm going to talk to Jean. So, so excuse my fried brain.
So oh, no, you are fine. But you are, you got a lot going on. Your launch party is this weekend. So, you know what? No apologies are necessary. I totally get it. And so, I want to thank you so much. Oh, my God, Penelope, this has been dope.
Thank you.
You are dope. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule to be my very special guest this week here in the chat room. Health Chat with your girl, Nurse Coach Jean Turner, that is. And a very special thanks to my producer, the Batman of Charm City himself, Mr. Jerry Royce Live. And to all of you, our listening audience, thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, if God says the same, peace and health.
Thank you for joining us for another episode here in the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. Until next time, if God says the same, I pray peace, health, love, and well-being for you and your family. God bless you.